is up, y'all? This is episode 35 and a half. I am one of your hosts, Adam Buckingham, the director of this car crash this evening. Alongside me, well, not really alongside me, I'm staring at him in a computer screen because we're Skyping, because that's how it is, but alongside makes more sense, is my best friend in the business, the best stick handler in the video game business, Gary Seisel. How you doing today, Gary?
Doing really well. Actually, I'm in a new setup, which I'll be tweeting out soon. I got a desk, guys. A desk.
Oh my
I can sit
God.
here.
We're moving up in the world.
Over. Yeah, because for people that don't know already, I typically have my computer placed on an ottoman, and I'm hunched over the entire episode. My back starting to give me problems.
You don't want scoliosis?
No, not really.
No?
Not really.
So, if you guys didn't know, we are a video game podcast. We release every Tuesday and Friday. This Tuesday episode, we go through games releasing this week, and then we go into a more specific topic later on in the show. This week, I actually sat down with a fan, I guess you could say, of ours, Adam Mackowiak, or Mackowiak, as I like to say instead, because it's easier to pronounce. And we go into his experiences with, it's a long conversation that branches, because we're both ramblers, so we kind of branch in different sections. But the main thing was about his experiences studying video game design and what he wants to do afterwards. And honestly, I got his opinion on what he's playing now and his opinion on games. So it was a fun conversation, so I think you'll enjoy it. Yeah. It was a fun time. Gary, you excited to listen to it?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm sure you're going to be the first one to download it and first one to listen to it. I'm sure.
Actually, that's probably true. I am subscribed.
That is true. So, Gary, it's been a while since you've been on these Tuesday episodes. What have you been up to this past weekend since the last time we recorded?
Well, I'm going to start off a little bit differently than usual. So, in sports, because this is a gaming podcast, you want to hear about sports, but I'm a huge Flyers fan, Philadelphia Flyers fan. They're a team in the NHL. And this past weekend, it was a tough season, okay? So we just got over a tough season. We didn't make the playoffs, and the team's kind of average right now. Well, anyway, the luck seems to have turned because they
never really happens in Philly, so this is shocking to everybody.
It's amazing. This is the first lucky moment ever. But they the draft lottery was this past weekend, so the Flyers were projected to pick 13th. So they had a 2.2% of picking in the basically having the top pick. Well, they got number 2. So
pretty solid.
The entire fan base is rejoicing right now.
I can't. Yeah. Those odds are just crazy. I remember the Sixers had they were projected to be the top pick, and they ended up number 3. That's the type of luck that Philly has.
Well, that's how it happened. What was it? A few years ago, back in actually more than a few years ago, 10 years ago actually. In 07, the Flyers were the worst team in the league. They, I think they won 22 games that season, but they were supposed to pick, obviously, number 1, but they ended up picking number 2. And the guy they picked was James Van Riemsdyk. They got it, and the guy that was picked first was Patrick Kane, who went on to win 3 cups.
You know anything about hockey? You know that was pretty poor.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
Poor trade-off. But, what have you been doing video game-wise, though? Because this is a video game podcast, and new listeners right now, which hopefully you stick to the end, new listeners, so you can subscribe to the podcast after we're done talking. But so the new listeners aren't turned off because we're talking about sports and they get freaked out because they thought it was a video game podcast because of what I said, and now you're making me out to be a liar, Gary.
Well, anyway, in gaming, I've been playing a little bit of Destiny. I've been playing the new, the raids. So they had
Destiny.
Basically, yeah. But I'm doing more PvE now as opposed to PvP because the current PvP meta is an absolute train wreck. So I've been playing a lot of the raids now. Meta, yeah, the most effective tactic. Or meta, whatever. Because it's beta and... Do you say beta?
No, but it's meta.
Anyway.
We can disagree.
Yeah, of course. We always disagree. Anyway, I've been playing some of the raids, and I played the Vault of Glass raid, completed that. I actually beat the Crota challenge mode, which is basically in challenge modes they add in extra challenges to make certain stages harder on you, and basically you get more rewards by completing them. Well, we managed to complete them. I actually did 2 raids in one night, which is the first time ever that actually happened.
Destiny snob, you know that, Gary?
Yeah, I'm just an elitist, you know.
But, Destiny elitist.
But yeah, I mean that's basically it though. I mean I've been playing a little bit of Battlefield. I've been getting back into the front lines again, which has been a lot of fun. But I mean I'm kind of just adrift in gaming right now, looking for the next experience. Yeah, because after Horizon,
you're just like because apparently Mass Effect Andromeda was sort of
I know,
let down. Sort of shat the bed, but if you want to get 30% off, it's 30% off on like digital stores. So
is that so?
Yeah,
maybe I'll buy it then because I need something again.
I think it's like $42 now, so maybe that price point will make it worth it. Who knows? You can buy it and then at a cheaper price, and then it'll patch everything, and then finally it'll be a decent game.
Yeah, and they're patching it. I know they already patched it once, but I'm not sure how much of an effect that had. So I hope it improves. It has to. It's Mass Effect. Come on.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate.
Anyway, but that's enough of my life. What's been happening with you here?
Well, what have I been doing? I just got done waiting for you to record this podcast. I've been on somewhat of a paleo kick. It's not a diet per se, but I've been reading a book. It's like Whole30, where you try to eat specifically stuff that I guess back 10,000 years, cavemen mostly ate meats and veggies. So I've been just trying to do that, and the Whole30 process is just to eat specifically that for 30 days, obviously because of the title, and then work other things back in to see how they affect your body. So after a certain amount of time, you'll eat dairy again, and you'll see how that affects you, whether it's positively or negatively or not at all. So you know, going forward, if you then choose to eat something, you know the consequences. But honestly, I've been feeling pretty damn good with the way I've been eating. I had like a paleo bacon, which is just as good as normal bacon, just not extra salt and sugar and shit on it. I had like that with spaghetti squash and broccoli and some cream sauce that I made from like eggs and coconut milk. Top notch.
Nice.
It was pretty solid.
It is amazing what happens when you make subtle changes. Well, I guess in your case it's more dramatic, but like I haven't been drinking alcohol as much. It sounds bad, I know, but I haven't been drinking alcohol as much as I was previously, and it's amazing the difference it has in just my energy levels day to day. Like waking up and not being hungover, obviously, but I remember I stopped drinking. I guess it was like a week ago. And I guess like a few days in, all of a sudden I was like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, I feel great right now. I can like climb a goddamn mountain right now. I'm so excited.
It's kind of like when I finally got glasses. You came to me. You came with me when I got glasses. Oh wow!
You can see for the first time ever. Yeah.
I was like, my mind was blown when I could finally see again. It was insane what I was missing out on. I'm like, oh my god! And I remember my ma felt so bad because I was going through that for so long. Yeah, you can see how poor, I guess. Well, I wasn't bad at baseball, which is shocking that I couldn't see the ball that well. But
shit, you were playing baseball at the time?
Yeah.
You couldn't see? Oh my god.
Yeah, it ended up, I started doing better once I was doing pretty decent, and then I started doing a lot better when I finally got glasses or contacts so I could see. It's amazing what sight can improve.
Yeah, it's not an important thing at all.
Yeah.
Seeing.
But yeah, it's been nice. I mean, I've been feeling healthy. I've been getting some nice. I feel like my intestinal tract is on like positive, so I'm not like going constantly from like coffee or stuff like that.
Did you cut out coffee?
No, because it doesn't say you can't. You can have coffee, you just can't add sugar or like the cream shit to it, or you can do unsweetened. But I do drink black coffee, so it's fine by me.
Black coffee's the shit. Very underrated.
I know everyone listening to this thought this was a video game podcast, but no, we tricked you, motherfuckers. This is a health podcast. Deal with it. No. But other than that, I started, I've been playing, like I mentioned last Friday, I've been playing NBA 2K16 again, where I built up the Sixers. Yeah. My Sixers finally made it to the playoffs, 4th seed. The season after, of course, when they make it to the playoffs, my top superstar is injured, but have no fear since I'm playing as them now. They're winning, so...
if I may ask, was it Embiid that got hurt?
Yeah, it was Embiid.
Oh, my God.
I think he's been hurt every single year, but I need to work on his durability. That's neither here nor there. Even though I upped his stats at the beginning when I started because I felt like they were underrating his quality. I upped his durability somewhat, but made it still somewhat relevant or realistic, and it's still biting me in the ass. So I need to help him out on that front. So I've been playing that. It's been a lot of fun. Sometimes it's a little frustrating, as any sports game can be. Really, I haven't played anything else. Nothing's tickled my fancy. I kind of want to get into, because of a Humble Bundle I purchased. I think it brought with like War or Deathsiders 1 and 2 and a bunch of indie games. I played This War Is Mine, which if you haven't played it, it's a pretty cool game if you're into that. I was into it slightly. Well, I was into it, but it was oddly, it seemed like it would take a lot of time and effort to get it down properly. It's kind of you are in like an abandoned house. It's like during World War I era, I think, or World War II, where you're in like a war-ridden city. So you kind of have to go around and scavenge for items and food in like different areas. And you collect it for your group, which is like a group of 3. And it's really difficult keeping them because everyone's hungry. Like, if you don't feed them, they're hungry the next day, obviously. They start off sick, so sometimes they're sick. Sometimes they're tired if they go out and scavenge, which you go and you go to certain places. Sometimes you find hostels. Sometimes, unfortunately, I feel bad. I robbed like an old married couple. I took their like all their food and stuff because I really needed food. So doing that, surviving, you could trade. I highly suggest you checking it out. It's like an indie title. I think it's like $10-15 on PS4. But I did get it on the Humble Bundle, and I also want to check out two indie games. It's like The Swindle and Not Your Hero, or Not a Hero. So I'm probably gonna hop into those sometime this week and check it out. So maybe I'll get back on Friday with how it went. And if I didn't, I'm sorry. I probably am playing NBA instead because I am sort of, kind of addicted right now because the NBA playoffs are going on. But other than that, I did see on. I'm on a rambling mode now, but my mind is going. So, Gary, stick with me. There was something that I retweeted on my normal account at Adam J. Buckingham, where Kotaku posted it, where somebody put a challenge for Halo 3.
Oh, God, I saw that.
You saw that? A Halo 3 challenge that they put out back in 2008. The whole purpose of these challenges are during the campaign or like in other multiplayer maps, whatever. You try to get into a certain place or get somewhere. They're trying to get into one level. I know the level from like visualizing, but I can't remember what it's called. You have to get into this cage area where it's blockade because somebody wants to get into the cage, and I was baffled by how much time and effort they had to put in and the trial and error that took place into just figuring out the checkpoints that they had to hit and skip, because some people you had to like skip a certain checkpoint by like glitching out of the map. And then starting another checkpoint, and then bringing like the Pelican comes in once you save Sergeant Johnson, and you have to knock the Pelican farther back. Then you gotta kill somebody so they can die there, and then they spawn in. It's ridiculous. Yeah. I don't understand how people like it goes to the whole like in Halo 2 the super jump thing. How do people figure that out?
Well, it's like they not only that, but they had to trigger cutscenes at certain times. They had to make sure that they killed AI in certain order. They had to. It's like push boxes around into certain places. Oh my God, I can't even imagine trying to think of all this shit.
How much time does somebody put into it? Like, what are they doing on a day-to-day basis? Like, are they at work? Or are they just doing this for fun? Like, what's happening? I don't get it. I mean, maybe they're high schoolers and they have nothing else to do after school and they just want to play Halo 3, which I did as a high schooler, and that's completely fine. But that doesn't seem too
10 years?
Fun for me. Yeah, it's been close to 10 years now, this challenge. It's 2017. Maybe somebody finally took it, tried to complete it and put time in it. I don't fucking know. Maybe there was like a whole, I need to look more into it. I wonder if there's like a whole like Reddit board of like detective work, like with red lines going from here to there to there, like you always see on like detective movie or suspenseful detective movies. I have no idea. It's insane.
It's amazing what people put their mind to. Can you imagine if, like, I always say this when I'm playing, like, Destiny, for example, and I'm in a bad mood playing the game, which is often. It's like, imagine if these people that are this good at this game put, say, their time into, like, curing cancer.
Yeah. I mean, it goes
now, I'm not going to knock people that play a lot of video games because I'm one of those people. But yeah.
I mean, it goes to show you that there were, I think we talked about it on one of the podcasts before, where they did implement like the internet or video game society with help like discovering certain biomolecular molecules.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So it goes to show you that if you put it into a certain like, I guess, game space, people would be fascinating to solve these problems, because sometimes, like this, for this instance, it's a random problem that seems really time-consuming and difficult, but yet somebody figured it out, because I don't know why. I don't know. I guess we should hop into the games now, because we're both baffled.
Speechless.
Moving on into the games. For the week of May the 1st all the way to, I think, the 7th. I believe that's what it will be, the Saturday. But, I mean, I always say that week, and then most games come out on Tuesday, so I'm starting May 2nd on the Tuesday. You have a Vita game, the Caligula Effect, coming to Vita. Then you have Gary's favorite, Arcade Archives, Neo Geo, Last Resort, coming to the PS4. Then you have Nog coming to the PS4. Nog is sort of like a kind of a pleasant puzzle adventure type deal, where you're looking at like Monster Head type figures in like a goofy art style, and you have to solve puzzles. I'm not sure exactly the whole aspect behind that, but that's what I saw when I was researching these. Then you have Super Bear Resurrection coming to PS4. This kind of caught my eye because it had a cool art style, and also reminded me of Super Meat Boy, with the arcade fast-paced moving from platform to platform, very easy to die. It looks, definitely check it out if you're into Meat Boy, because it seemed like it has been getting decent, I think, reviews on Steam. Then you have Tumbleseed coming to Xbox One, PS4, and the Switch. Tumbleseed, they call it a kind of like Dark Souls, but with a marble Dark Souls, where you're just a little marble ball rolling in like a little, I guess, procedurally generated world where it's trying to kill you, and you have to roll back and forth trying to dodge and block things. So random what game developers come up with, but it's very creative. Then Wednesday, May 3rd, you have The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, the third. So if you didn't play the second or first, I honestly don't know what this game is, so you may not have a second or first. Coming to PC, then you have Plant Place coming to Xbox One, which kind of looked pretty interesting, is where you're building a base on Mars and trying to create a colony for your humans to survive. Thursday, May 4th, you have Flat Out 4, Total Insanity coming to PS4. It had mediocre reviews on Steam. People were pretty iffy, I think, with the way it played. Honestly, looking from the Steam trailer, it looked really cool. It looked kind of like a arcade, like car destruction type racing game. It was really cool. So maybe maybe the patching will help it out. Who knows? Patching saves everything. Friday, May 5th, you have Prey coming to Xbox One and PS4 and PC. This is, I think, Bethesda Studios finally getting back into the Prey series. They're taking a more serious crack at it. It looks really good. First-person shooter, so highly check it out if you're into those things. Then you have AFL Evolution, Xbox One, PS4, and PC. This was actually rather interesting, Gary, trying to find gameplay footage of this. It was very scarce. Most of the gameplay footage was the Australian Football League players themselves playing it, and then they flash to the game, then flash back. And I was able to find like 54 seconds of the game itself. Looks really bad. It looks really bad. So do not check it out, because most of the games, they never put any effort into creating it, whether it's cricket, rugby, the Australian Football League. Don't check it out. Dreamfall Chapters coming to the PS4. This game, actually, when I looked at Steam, looks really like beautiful. It kind of looks like an explorative dialogue, kind of go through the motions linear story. Then you have World to the West coming to Xbox One and PS4. You have Save the Ninja Clan coming to Xbox One, which kind of also reminded me, shockingly enough, of Super Meat Boy. You're like a small little square ninja throwing stars, trying to dodge everything. And then you have Bit Dungeon coming to Xbox One, which looked really cool. It looked basically like Legend of Zelda, top down when you're going through dungeons, and you're just fighting kind of like little monster skeletons, whatever you want to call them. You beat a room, it seems like you can get upgrades to your attack, defense, all that type of stuff. Get treasure. I'm not sure exactly if it's like procedural generated or if it continues, but that's all the games for this week that I've been seeing for the main ones that I think you should be looking out for. Yeah,
good stuff. I actually I wanted to say I actually do have like an interest right now in Prey.
Really?
Maybe I'll take a stab at that. Maybe that'll be my next project because, like I said, I need a game here.
What interests you about it?
I like the setting. I mean, I kind of like that sci-fi setting. In the fact that there's the aliens involved, hostile aliens, of course.
They can never be friendly.
I know. Yeah. I mean, that alone kind of piques my interest, and also the fact that it's a first-person shooter is kind of cool too. So, something I can just kind of sink my teeth into for a little bit. Maybe not something too time-consuming.
Yeah, it always seems like when... Sorry, I completely got lost on my thought that I had. It seems like when there is a game set in modern-day Earth and it takes place with aliens, it's always they're bad. Like, Mass Effect's far in the future, so the aliens are fine. But when it's, like, quote-unquote modern-day, like Prey, it seems like they're hostile. Yeah. Or, like, the Alien trilogy, or Alien, all the Alien games, but that's based off of licensed property. Oh. But it just seems like that's a trope people like to use.
I'm not sure if you could have a game with friendly aliens. You need some conflict, Yeah, well, it depends on the story.
Here's the thing. You should have friendly aliens and maybe evil aliens, have them duke it out, I don't know how it'll happen.
So you're saying the main character should be a friendly alien? And then you can...
why not?
All right, I dig that. Okay.
I don't care. Like, why does it need to be humans? Like, seriously. Yeah. Just have a fucking random conflict in the galaxy about two random species. Build a world, let's not keep it on Earth. Who cares?
It's also funny, too. I remember... strangely enough, was it Sean Murray, No Man's Sky? He was saying how...
No Man's Sky, the best game out there. Check it out.
Yeah, hilarious. But I remember him saying, he was like, it's funny, in every science fiction game that's out there, everybody always wields like an assault rifle. It's always like... You ever realize that? Like, it's never anything really different. It's always just like... Oh, yeah, we're, like, advanced, 3,000 years, but we're still using, like, M16s and stuff, or stuff that looks like M16s. It's just kind of funny.
Yeah. It is.
I guess it's hard to think of new weapons, but still.
Come on.
I don't know.
Gotta be creative. That's why you have artistes.
Yeah.
And then you have engineers figuring out how the fuck that'll work, which then they'll probably say it doesn't fucking work.
Yeah. So you just do it anyway. You're like, science fiction. Fuck it.
Exactly. Fantasy. We've developed something. We found what dark matter is. Who knows? But yeah, that has been our section of, reading the games, and now I'm probably going to, Gary, before I go into the interview that's going to happen, we're going to jump cut right to there, so it'll probably sound choppy to people, so I'm sorry for that, because I'm not an audio editor. Do you have anything to say before, basically you go?
Well, I know I've been doing this now, I feel like, for the past few podcasts, but, what are our download numbers looking like for the past month? I know we hit a new high here.
We did. We hit a new high a while ago, and somehow it kept going. So I thought I was going to stop, but it kept going. We're at, for the month of April, we hit 2464. So 2464, which is pretty insane.
Yeah, it's like almost like 1,000 download increase.
Yeah.
So needless to say, we're kind of excited here.
Yeah, just Chad.
Again, thanks to everybody that listens, that gave us a chance and stuck with us. Thanks to everybody that even, maybe this is your first time listening to us, but you appreciate it. For all the people that subscribe, everything, we can't ask for basically anything more. So,
Gary, you're going to start tearing up. Aww.
In the feels. Yeah. No, but seriously, thanks a lot, guys. Enjoy the interview with the man, the myth, the legend, Adam. And Adam.
Enjoy the Adam Squared interview that's about to go on. So, I think I do an outro in that interview, so I don't really need to say an outro. So, have fun with the interview. And we're back! This is me, Adam, here with another Adam. Adam,
Hi.
Adam, match... Fuck, you told me before we recorded, and I completely forgot.
It's okay. It's Adam Mackowiak.
Mackowiak.
There you go. You got it.
You started talking to me before we recorded about how to pronounce it and everything, and then how other people butcher your name, like say Mackowiak, and then we started talking about Pac-Man right before it, and then Whack Whack with Shakira, that song, and threw me off. I got confused, and we're 30 seconds into it, and we're already off the rails. How's it going? I'm just going to start with that.
It's all great. It's all great. I mean, it's 1 a.m. here in England. A cold night, really.
I've noticed that your schedule per se is a little off. Is there a reason why, or is that just because you're crazy?
Well, I used to sleep normally, but then I went to university, and that just kind of all went to nowhere. So I think it's a normal university thing when you live with lots of people, and then everyone's always awake doing something, playing something. You just kind of push sleep to like a second, not necessary matter.
Yeah, that's very true. I remember it going into college. The classic, what is it? It's choose 2 out of the 3. It's like sleep, party, and schoolwork. And you have to choose 2.
Yeah.
You have to choose 2 of them.
Yeah. The same thing here, really. In England, it's not much different, apart from the fact we call it university and you call it college, really.
Oh, you're so fancy over
No,
in
the thing,
UK.
it gets confusing because for us, college is the school before university. So when Americans tell me they go college, I assume they're like 16, 17.
Wait, college is before
so
college
we have
on our
primary school. We have primary school.
Okay.
Then we have secondary school.
Okay.
Then we have 2 years of college and then university.
That's strange.
And yeah, so it gets a bit confusing when I talk to American people and they're like, "Yeah, I've just been to college." Like, oh,
like,
cool.
wait,
I thought you were like 20.
So, speaking of college, nope, university. Sorry for all the millions of UK fans listening. You're at a university now. What exactly are you studying? And the reason I ask is because I think that's why I kind of brought you on here.
Yeah, I think so too. I study one of universities in Cambridge in the United Kingdom. I study a course that was set up 5 years ago. I'm in my 4th year, and the course is called Computer Gaming Design. So it was set up specifically to get people into gaming industry.
Oh, look at that. It works perfectly with our video game podcast that releases every Tuesday and Friday.
What a shocker.
So, just briefly explain to me how you got into or wanting to take part in being a video game developer or being part of the video game industry in itself.
So, it's a funny story, really, because as a kid, I think everyone kind of dreams of, when I grow up, I just want to play games all the time and get paid. So you never really think anything serious. You kind of grow up and you think, I'm going to become a psychologist or anything else. You don't really think, one day I'm going to become a game developer. I mean, some people might get into it through computer science, through programming, or art. For me, it was actually a completely crazy story. It was on my 18th birthday, and on my 18th birthday, I decided to apply to university. So what happened, I went on one of the university websites, and I had a look through what courses are available. And my first choice was psychology. So that was what I really wanted to study. I wanted to study psychology. I did it in college, which is your secondary school thing. So I did it at college, and I thought that's what I'm going to do in my life. I'm going to become a psychologist. I was obviously still a massive video game player and fan and followed the whole thing. But then as I was scrolling the website, I've noticed computer gaming design, and I thought to myself, could it be? I quickly Googled. Turns out that the universities in the UK only just started bringing it out like last couple of years.
Oh, wow.
And there's only a handful of those in the whole UK that do it. Then it turned out that Cambridge is actually the English capital of game developers.
Wow.
And it turns out that like 73% of the country's gaming market actually comes from Cambridge.
Look at that.
And
you're right in the perfect area.
And I was like, no way. So I quickly looked at the course. I checked I got the right grades, and I applied straight away. And a week later, I was on first lecture learning about introduction to programming.
So is that what this degree is based on? Is a lot of programming? Is there a lot of more artistic aspects? Are there branches to this course?
So every year it divides into modules, obviously, and as the years go on, the modules get harder. So originally I thought it's just going to be... I didn't expect a serious organization like a university or any college to take gaming seriously. And I was very shocked to see they actually do. Yeah. So what I expected was a lot programming lessons and then maths lessons and then a little bit of art and how it fits into gaming. Instead, what we got was the teacher talking to us about how Turing system in Civilization 4 works. And that was my whole lecture. And I was thinking to myself, there's absolutely no way I came here to university to study about history of Half-Life 2. And I was absolutely loving it. So I was actually very surprised. So how it works is basically, you're right, they're mixing a bit of programming and a mix of art into it and a bit of maths. Mm-hmm. But they don't do it like, make this program and look, this could work if you wanted to make a game. No. So actually, they want you to make games constantly. They want you to constantly make mini games using as many different features and whatever you want. Obviously, you have an old module that is purely maths, and an old module that is purely programming, and an old module that is just environmental art, let's say. But it all comes together, and the main task is that they want you to make games. So the lecturers there are people who used to work in the industry. They're people who are game developers themselves. And last week we had guys from Sony and Crytek coming over to have a look at our dissertations. So final project. So it's definitely something that the companies, especially here in UK, have noticed. And it's honestly, I didn't expect such a big thing to come out of it. I honestly thought it's just trying to grab people's attention to come to university and just learn programming science, really. But it turns out they're actually serious about gaming.
And I think this course, from what it sounds like, can offer a lot of avenues if you don't end up in gaming in itself. But it sounds like they sort of kind of push you and give you a lot of experiences in developing games because they want to keep making you games, but keep making games while you're in the university itself. However, it seems like you get a lot of programming aspects to it too. So, I mean, if it falls through, which I doubt it'll happen, but you still can fall back on certain other technical skills they've learned that I think, it seems like you've been learning.
Yeah, that's true. So even if something happens and let's say I decide I don't want to be a game developer anymore, I cannot find a job in my area, and let's say I don't have the motivation or a team to create a game by myself, the skills I've obtained already, it give me enough experience to go into any IT technician job in UK, really, which is fantastic because I come out really with the same degree as the computer science guys, but with the gaming hint to it.
That's awesome.
That is absolutely great.
So I'm just curious, how is it like going to classes each day and sort of discussing like creating games? Like when you coming from the outside in, you're just normally playing games, and now you're integrated in understanding what sort of builds or what is built for this game. Is it does it open up your eyes when you're now starting to play games on your own?
Definitely. So coming obviously as a gamer for many, many, many years, I've never realized that going to uni to study this would actually change the way I look at games now as well. So long loading times, I can see why. Bad textures, again, I can see why. And it actually kind of ruins the experience sometimes because you can see what the developer's been lazy. And I'm thinking to myself, how did they get paid so much? How is this game 50 quid here in UK? How is it even possible? And it does definitely change your view on the game and in general. On top of it, I also worked for a game store, which is like your GameStop we talked about. So I had another view into the industry, which came from the whole retail industry of gaming. So to me, the whole view on game as a just form of entertainment has changed completely over the last 4 years.
How so?
Like I said, so for me before that, it was just entertainment. It was something I pick up. I mean, I remember spending hours and hours in Crash Bandicoot 3 trying to get 116%. And I did it eventually. I got a Vita a year ago, and I actually managed. That's
impressive, not gonna lie.
And I didn't even get a platinum for it because there isn't a platinum for it.
Wait, what did you say? What was it called?
Crash Bandicoot 3?
No. The trophy system. What was it?
Platinum? Oh god, no! You don't do it.
No. We here in America say it properly. It's platinum.
And it's aluminium, isn't it?
Oh god, don't get me started on that.
Yeah. So to me, it was a form of entertainment. Now I see it as a form of art, and especially over the last few years, we've actually. So I'd say within the last 10, 15 years, it was a race to get the best possible graphics. It was that kind of thing. Like every game wanted to look better and more realistic.
It still seems like it's like that.
Yes, but we have this bigger, slowly growing independent genre coming up, and a lot of games. And I mean, if you look at, have you played Everyone's Gone to the Rapture?
No, I've since it was on PS Plus, it's actually sitting on my PS4 right now.
You need to play it. So this is what changed, one of the games that changed my view on games completely, because to me, this is no longer entertainment or business. This is art. This is something that you could put in a museum in 50 years and let people play it.
That's exactly how I feel about Journey, which I've been trying to get Gary.
Oh, Journey is another one. It's absolutely amazing.
It's a beautiful game.
So we actually, over the last 10 years, we stepped into that genre where it doesn't matter how pretty the game is anymore. It actually, what the message the game is trying to convey, and what it makes you feel as a person, not just as a player, not just to make you feel good about shooting some guys in Call of Duty. It's more about actually having an experience like you're watching a book or a movie.
Yeah, it seems like now with the technology nowadays, it's opened up avenues for, if you want to create a game that's just fun gameplay-wise, you're more than welcome to do that. If you want to create a game that's just beautiful and you're just kind of shooting people's heads off, like Call of Duty, you can do that. But if you also want to, if you have the avenue for a storytelling aspect, you can do that as well. A lot of indie developers take that route. Yeah,
and they combine the different, like you said, the categories you just listed. They actually combine. So Everyone's Gone to the Rapture looks absolutely stunning. I honestly think it's one of the most beautiful games on PS4 right now. And again, it's not a game that necessarily has a lot of gameplay in it, because all you do really is walk and interact with objects. There's not really much jumping, shooting, anything like this. But it's just the story mixed with the graphics. That's what made the game very unique. And it's not even that long. It's only 2 hours long.
Really? It's only 2 hours? I thought for some reason it was longer.
No, well, for your first playthrough, probably will be about 3.5 hours if you want to explore everything. But you can easily finish it in 2-3 hours in one sit down.
Yeah, that seems like a game right up my alley. I really want to go and just, since it looks so beautiful, just go around and exploring everything, and which is pretty awesome. Okay, I want to touch on one thing you said previously, because I wrote it down to make sure I didn't miss. You talked about loading times, and you talked about how you can see why that happens. So please explain to me and everyone listening out there why loading times can be such a pain, or why it can end up being like a developer is, quote unquote, like you said, being lazy.
So the best example would be actually probably the most recent one. Sniper Elite 3 just came out.
Okay.
Was it Sniper Elite? I think it's called Sniper Elite. The new sniper game that just came out.
There was a Sniper Elite 3, and I think there was like a Sniper Ghost Warrior or something that just came out too.
I'm just looking. It is Sniper Ghost Warrior, you're right. I just checked. So Sniper Ghost Warrior just came out literally 25th of April, which is 2 days ago. And they actually, the main loading screen, as you load again, is about 3 to 5 minutes long.
Wow.
And you wait here before your game even starts, and you wait 3 to 5 minutes long. Once you load the game, the loading screens still appear later on. Not necessarily as actual loading screen, but the game will freeze for a second and like kind of load it up.
That's strange, because most of those games, when you have a large load at the beginning, it kind of states that you're not going to be loading for the rest of the game, which is weird.
That's true. And they actually came on Facebook, on their Facebook page, they actually came on defending themselves, saying that, so I think there was an article from Eurogamer or PC Gamer, and the company that made the game, CI Games, they actually replied to the article saying, we apologize for the waiting screens. However, we did it to reduce the screen waiting in-game.
Okay.
And obviously it got a massive shitstorm in the comments after, because people would just go, GTA 5, GTA 5, GTA 5.
Yeah.
Because the game obviously takes about 2-3 minutes to load, but then you don't really see loading screens after.
But Rockstar is, I think, on another level when it comes to certain developers.
That's another thing. But again, this is something that they could have worked on a bit longer. Because I'm pretty sure, give it 3 months, and those loading times will be reduced by half just because of a patch.
How can you explain to me, like I'm 5 years old, how a patch can, can you do to really affect the loading times in a game itself, like just from a patch standpoint?
So let me explain it this way. Let's say you walk into a park, yeah, and this park has no trees at all yet, no trees. So what you can do is either hold on a second and wait for all the trees to grow in the whole park, or you can wait 10 seconds and be able to see only the trees that are in front of you.
Okay.
It makes no difference to you for viewing the park. So as you walk, you'll see trees all around you.
Mm.
So that's what they did with the load. That's the difference. So you can load smaller elements that you will be able to see straight away, and then use the processor power, so the RAM in any console or a PC, to load more stuff in the background as you are already in the game.
Okay. Huh.
However, most developers, they don't do that. They just want you to load the whole package straight away. Mm. And even then, it doesn't load correctly, because even then, as you walk, it will still load more. So yeah, that's how it works.
That seems like kind of patchy programming when it comes to that.
Yeah, but you're correct though, because Rockstar is obviously on another level. So I'm sure they have absolute elite when it comes to programming and their stuff. So that's probably the issue here.
Yeah, it's just like when you have those type of games, the one game that stands up in my mind, which loading times really had a huge effect. From what I can remember, was Bloodborne when it first came out for PS4. And
yes.
The reason the loading times wouldn't have been so bad, because you can go to anywhere, but the fact that it's Bloodborne in itself and you die constantly and you have to reload it, that's when loading times can be a factor. So I'm not sure if Sniper Ghost Warrior 3, if you're dying all too often, if it's that much of a factor. But, I mean, the fact that it's happening during mid-game kind of sucks.
Yeah, so with the Bloodborne, like I said, they actually patched it. So Bloodborne got, massive backlash when it came out, and a couple months later was fine. But I agree, there's nothing worse than looking at a Bloodborne loading screen when you know you just died, and you have to wait entire 3 minutes thinking about that death that just happened. Honestly, it's the most horrible experience.
I know a lot of people gave Bloodborne a shit for that. I personally thought, I was the opposite opinion. I thought it was pretty good because it allowed me to, it allowed me to rage slightly in the beginning, and then allowed me to go through the 5 stages of grief, and then it allowed me for acceptance so I could calm down and get back into the game. That's how long it helped me out.
Yeah, you first hate the game, then yourself, and then the game again. It kind of goes in a circle like that.
The circle of video game life, I guess you could say.
Yeah, any basically From Software game is that. It's this amazing circle of just constantly hate towards everyone and everything.
Yeah, most of the internet just hates. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
So, where are you right now in your studies? Are you close to finishing? I know you mentioned. I think you're close, right?
So I actually finished 2 days ago.
Oh wow! Congratulations!
Well, yay! Well, I don't get my results for another month or two, so I handed my dissertation, which is like a final project. Nah, I think I'll be fine. So I did my dissertation, which is like a final project. I did it 2 days ago.
What was your final project on?
So my final project was actually on programming rather than the gaming.
Oh, okay.
So my tutor for the module, he said that I should try something that represents my basically how it happens is that your programming skills get marked better than a video game skill. If that makes any sense.
So are you saying like when you come out of a university, or are you saying that when you're programming in the university itself?
Just this dissertation, just this final project.
Gotcha.
The examiners want to see you being able to program really great. So I could make, like, let's say, Shovel Knight, which is an absolutely great game.
Love that game.
But it doesn't require as much of a complexity with programming.
Okay.
So I probably wouldn't get a massive mark for that. So instead, I had to actually create a program, an algorithm. That so you had to put a VR headset on.
Oh.
So I got a Samsung Gear headset. I put it on, and you had to watch 3 videos while you are plugged to a heart temperature and brain monitor.
Okay.
And as you watch those videos, there would be 3 videos: happy, sad, and angry. As you watch those videos, you would send information from your heart, temperature, and brain to the computer.
Okay.
The computer would then analyze it with the algorithm I had to write and paint an image in Paint. So it would be pretty messed up stuff. Yeah, so it's very artistic. It's kind of hitting towards artificial intelligence, because turns out you can flip it. And you can actually put any image into it now, and the program will tell you what emotions were represented.
Oh, wow. That's pretty fucking cool. How long did it take you to program that?
It took me about 6 months of really hard and frustrating work to get it all done.
I know when it comes to programming, it's a lot of trial and error, so to speak. And I'm sure you've had those moments. I've personally had those moments where you're coding something, and for some reason, when you first do it, first shot, when you're trying to do a certain section, it works. You have that really awkward, like, did I actually do it right? Because I'm expecting it to fail.
The thing is, yeah, it's correct. We got shown at the very first lecture of programming 4 years ago. We got shown a little meme, little picture, and it had two pictures of the same guy sitting in the same position in front of a computer. So the same image twice. And the top image said, "My code works. I don't know why." And the second one said, "My code doesn't work. I don't know why." So this is basically the whole idea of programming. Half the time you have no idea why anything works, and the other half the time you don't know why it doesn't work. It's just kind of hitting the balance in between. But it's been very frustrating at times to actually get it done.
Here's the thing. You're talking, I like what you're saying, I'm listening, but also your voice, it hits into my soul, it feels like. You've got a beautiful voice, and I'm just, for some reason, you sound like somebody I've listened to before, like podcast-wise, and I'm not sure what it is. It'll come to me eventually in the podcast. I'll probably blurt it out randomly.
No, I'm pretty sure, unless you watched my Rubik's Cube videos when I was like 12 on Polish YouTube, then I'm afraid, no, you haven't heard me.
No, you sound like somebody I've listened to before, but that's neither here nor there. I kind of wanted, since you finally are finished, what route do you want to go in the video game industry in itself? Do you want to try to become like a programmer, or you want to be more of the artistic side, or developing, I don't know, what other, like developing like the scenery, I guess? I don't know.
So since day one, I had a dream, I had an idea that I just want to make video games. And I don't want to sit in a company made of 1,000 people and make textures for a box that's going to be used in level 14 of a game that the player is going to see for 3 seconds and get paid money for that. This is not something I want. I don't do this for money. So I want to make games.
So are you going to try to go the indie route or a smaller studio route?
Definitely going indie route, like full indie, like my own studio.
Just by yourself, yourself and I, or are you going to try to just recruit some of your friends?
So I have 2 friends on my course. One is a fantastic artist, and the other guy is a Russian mathematician, and you can't really go higher than that. So we actually have a team, and we've already got some things planned out. So hopefully it will kick off.
Yeah, I hope when it kicks off and becomes huge, you remember us.
Oh, of course I will. Of course. We're just trying to make mobile games for now. I think that's for any developer, game developer, I would suggest first to game into mobile gaming. You want to make your first profit as soon as possible, because otherwise you're going to have to get a job, and writing games as you have a full-time job to keep on top of your finances can be quite difficult. So this summer, we're cracking on. We're thinking of releasing 3 games for iOS and Android.
Oh, wow. You have them all planned out already? You think you got it all sorted?
They all planned out. All we need to do is just crack on with it, really. So
all you need to do is the really difficult part.
Yeah. All we need to do is literally just stock up on coffee and energy drinks and just get it done in a 2-week space, and then just put it out in the world, really.
So it is what kind of, I don't know if you can explain your ideas here of those 3 games, or is it just...
Yeah, I can, no problem. So one of my modules was actually on one of my modules was on mobile gaming, and what makes mobile gaming so addictive. So I've noticed, I don't know if you do, but I don't really tend to play mobile games unless I'm on the way to somewhere, or waiting for a bus, or waiting for anything. So, and the games I tend to play, I don't really want to get into Final Fantasy 15 on a mobile. I don't want to get into anything like that. The games I tend to play on my mobile are very short, repetitive games that I can play in bursts, like 15 times while I wait for the bus, and then leave it for a couple of days, and then again do the same thing, just try to beat my high score.
I'm sorry to say that I took a plane ride the other day. I ended up playing Farm Saga just because it was simple.
You know what? I was bashing farm games for years. I remember Farmville when that came out on Facebook.
Oh, that was
all the other clones.
Long pull ago.
I'll tell you what, I started playing Stardew Valley a week ago, and I'm so addicted.
Gary loves that game.
It is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And the guy who made it, he actually made it all by himself, starting with graphics, code, and music.
There you go.
And he is my absolute hero.
He's
this
your idol
guy
now.
got me interested in a farming simulator. I just don't believe it still.
I know.
Absolute hero.
When that came out, everybody was loving that game, and it was kind of shocking for me just hearing about it. And I go on Steam when people talk about it, I'm like, wait, people like this game? What's going on here?
Yeah, I remember seeing loads of YouTube videos, and I was thinking, oh my god, this is going to be like another Minecraft. It's just going to be everywhere. I don't want to see this. I don't find any interest in the farm life. I've always lived in big cities. I don't really care for farms personally. I get the importance of them, but I don't really care. I don't really want to be playing with hay and horse shit all day. That's not really my kind of thing.
I don't think you're physically playing with horse shit. If you didn't know, you're not actually. It's not that like best like. It's not augmented reality.
Well, I hope they don't. But yeah, like when I finally got it, when I finally managed to get my hands on Stardew Valley, and I was just so bored one day, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna try it. And I sat for 6 hours. I got a cat named Cat.
50 hours later.
Right now, I'm on approximately 120 hours into it.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and I've only played it for 2 weeks.
Jesus, man. Someone's loving this game.
Yeah, no, and the annoying thing is that I have it on a PC, on Steam, and it just came out on PS4, and you can't transfer your save.
Oh, that's
so
rough.
I really want to get it on the PS4 and get the comfort of playing it in my bed while listening to the music and just enjoying the game. But then again, I don't want to start from scratch again.
What? You don't want to
I built an empire there.
So what? So you're 140 hours into this game. Where do you go from there? Like, how do you keep playing this game?
Well, you want to know what like. I don't even know, man. There is no story to it. There's like individual quests you can do, like find someone's axe or go to this event and find Easter eggs, and they're quite repetitive and random. There is no big story, like, but you just carry on playing. I think what a great thing the designer's done is that you can only save the game when you go to sleep.
Okay.
But the thing is, as soon as you go to sleep, you want to check on your crops, on your mailbox the next morning. So you get out of bed to check on this.
It's got
you end up watering all those. You end up watering all the plants, and you're like, "Oh God, I can't save now. I have to go through another day." And you just keep going.
It's basically just nicotine shot straight into you, Stardew Valley style. It seems
like
it
is, and I even. I managed to get the song as my ringtone, so whenever my girlfriend calls me now, I've got the positive vibes.
I'm sure
so
she loves the fact that you're more interested in Stardew Valley than her.
I tried to get into it, but all she wants to do is make a cheese farm, and I'm not really up for it.
What's so wrong with the cheese farm? Cheese is good.
Well, I'm more of a melon fan. They actually sell for way more than cheese. So I keep trying to tell her, but she just wants to make cheese.
Look at this. We're getting into the nitty-gritty of Stardew Valley, and I have no idea what is
we should probably stop before we make the whole podcast about
it. So back to what you're talking about with the games. We got on this tangent somehow because you were talking about mobile games and the addictiveness.
Yes.
That's how we got onto this topic. So,
yes, so
you want to continue with that?
Yeah, so you asked me what kind of game I want to make for a mobile.
Yes.
So as I was saying, so when you play a game on your mobile, I tend to play short games, and I think most of the people do. And the biggest proof and evidence for this, I think it's Flappy Bird. Mm-hmm. So it's a game that on average, you play for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can quickly just restart and just carry on doing it, that's what makes it so playable, is that you can just play it everywhere. You can play it on a train, you can play it anywhere you go. And there's no need to be involved with story. There's no skills or progress you obtain, really. Yeah. You just keep tapping the fish.
The fact that I remember when they took it down for a while and cell phones with the game were selling for, like, I don't know, thousands of dollars was insane to me.
Yeah, so I think the guy is from Malaysia.
Okay.
And the guy took it down after, like, a couple of weeks because he said he's received too many death threats.
After he made probably
he made so
shit
much.
ton
So
of
the
money.
key, that's the actual key to the games we're making. So the key is to display a very quick, not annoying, full-on 30-second video clip advert, but a very quick picture advert with a cross. You can see it very quickly. You can just click it off. But every time someone watches the advert, you get like a half a cent. Now, if someone plays a game 15 times in a day, that person earns 7 cents already. And now there's a million of players playing it at the same time.
Yeah.
It just goes up crazy. So the kind of game we want to make is exactly, obviously not the same style, not the same gameplay as the Flappy Bird, but it's something of the same concept. So it's something that you can play quickly on the go, and you can just every time you lose, you just see an advert. That obviously gives us some money, thankfully, and then you can carry on playing. And the only way to go around those adverts will be you pay us £1 or $1. And you will never see adverts again, and we're happy, and you're happy, and it's not a massive amount, and I think that'd be great.
So your goal is to create a simplistic, addicting game to then hopefully fund your future projects, which it sounds like you want to get out of the mobile space is the correct term, but get away from it so you can develop more PC-centric type games.
That's correct. That's correct. So our first step is to create a few mobile games just to get that constant profit coming up. We're not talking massive monies. We don't expect to be millionaires overnight. We don't expect to create the next Flappy Bird.
If you do become millionaires, make sure to send it my way. You can ignore Gary, just send it my way.
Trip to Jersey coming up. No, we do it. We just want to, not necessarily, it's not just about the money and surviving of the studio, but it's also about getting our names out. So it's about, we want to have a studio that a name of a band will represent something that people will not think, oh, this is another War of Ward or whatever, that pay to win kind of trash. That they'll think, oh, this is, I don't know, maybe like you think of catch-up games. I'm sure you've played a lot of catch-up games before. They're a company that make games like Stack. They made loads of mobile games that basically use the same rule over and over and again, and it's basically tap something, and if you lose, you carry on and do it again. And that's basically what we're trying to do here. We're trying to set up a company that releases a few games over a few months, and then hopefully we get not only revenue, but some sort of recognition. And then we want to move on to full-on projects which we can get out on PC, Steam, and hopefully PS4 or Vita.
Good old Vita. That's what I like to hear.
I think Vita is a perfect console. Vita is a perfect console.
My goodness, I love you so much. First you come
Someone finally agrees.
You're talking with your sexy voice. You're getting me all hot and bothered. Then you drop the Vita. Woo! My pants are coming off.
Mine already off. It's 1 a.m. here.
Oh, man. Ooh, getting hot and heavy on two Jersey kids.
I think Vita is a perfect system that unfortunately nobody used the potential of.
It's so unfortunate.
It is extremely
now the
unfortunate.
Switch is trying to steal its hype. Let's be real. The Vita did it first.
Vita did it first, definitely. Vita had the perfect system. I mean, nothing beats Vita for me when I have to play Crash Bandicoot in bed. This was my dream as a kid. So when you play on your PlayStation and your mom tells you to get off the PlayStation because you need to go to sleep, this was my dream. To just lay in bed on a little mobile-like device and just play the same game over and over again. And Vita is absolutely fantastic. And the fact that a lot of indie games now you get on PS Plus. Titan Souls, you heard of that one?
Yeah, I actually have it on my Vita. I've played it.
Same. Beautiful game. You can play it on both PS4 and Vita, and nothing affects the experience. It's the same game.
Titan Souls is definitely a beautiful game. Can be a little frustrating at times because I think if people don't know, it's just basically you running. It's just trying to basically fight a bunch of bosses, and if you get hit once, you're dead. You have one arrow to shoot, and you have to go. If you miss, you go collect it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a very frustrating game, but it's beatable. Did you beat it?
I have not. I have played it on. I am. Actually, you know why I beat it? I beat like the first 6 or so, and then the world or the hub world sort of opens up. For the life of me, I'm running all around this damn place. I can't find where the fuck to go. I'm getting confused.
That's the easiest part.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm a fucking idiot.
No, you're all right though.
The game that I really love on Vita, which I played all the way through on Vita, was Shovel Knight. I thought that was like the perfect game for Vita.
Shovel Knight was also fantastic. I actually have not finished Shovel Knight.
Oh my god!
I've only got like, I remember some levels of like rats flying on umbrellas or something like that, and I was just like,
probably Plague
it wasn't really my art style. I don't know. I didn't find it as. Yeah, I know. I was really disappointed because it's a fantastic game, I think, and it's got fantastic reviews, and I like the mechanics, but I just couldn't get into the art style.
So if they updated it to like a Super Shovel Knight, like SNES style, like 16-bit, would that tickle your fancy?
Yeah, I think so. A lot of it reminded me of like kind of farming. I don't know. Like it was a lot to do with animals and kind of Alice in Wonderland style, but not as creepy. And I think that's what was the miss for me. It was the art style. I did not feel really attached to the characters. I think there was like a token frog that would sell you potions or something like that.
Yeah. You, sir, you had me with the Vita. You're losing me now with the Shovel Knight. I'm sorry.
No, I still have Shovel Knight. I might, just for you, give it a go the next week and actually try to finish it.
Who are we kidding? You're going to be playing Stardew Valley, it sounds like.
I will probably be playing Stardew Valley. That is probably true. Although, no, actually, I might actually be playing, what's it called? Rogue Legacy.
Oh, Rogue Legacy. That's where it's at. That game... Have you played it before?
Oh, I finished it so many times.
And you're just going to hop back into it again? That game's great on Vita.
It's so satisfying because no one else can do it. I mean, no one that I know, they'll just give up.
Yeah.
And here I go through the bosses, and they're like, how did you do it? And I'm like, yeah.
Have you platinum it yet? Because that seems like it's ridiculously hard to.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. So as soon as I finish the game, I always check how many achievements I got on my way. So I usually don't care for the achievements when I play the game for the first time. If I get them on the way, that's great, but I usually don't care. Yeah. And then the first thing I do is check the achievements. How far am I? And I was expecting, the first time to finish the game, you take about 40 hours, I assume. So I expected quite a lot of achievements to come through. It was like not even 10%.
Yeah. I think one of the goals is to beat the whole game without dying, which is insane. I think.
No, I would not do that. There's no. I did not study 4 years for that.
That seems impossible to me. I mean, I'm sure it's out there, but I'm like, Jesus. Or is it without leveling up, or is it's like beating? No, it's not beating without dying because that'd be insane. It's like beating it within the first 15 characters or something along those lines.
Yeah, no, I can believe that. Yeah, although I've seen gameplays on YouTube of people beating it on the first try.
I would love to see speedruns of that.
There is also speedruns. I've seen those too. It's absolutely ridiculous. I have no idea what's happening on the screen. It's a game that I've finished many times, and I still don't understand what's happening on the screen. It's something to do with the items that you get, and then you add some enchantments to it, and it makes some stats absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, wow. I probably should go look at that. Get some tips.
Yeah, no, it's another fantastic game. That's probably why I'll be playing this week. I actually feel like you got me talking about Shovel Knight, and first thing I thought was, how about Rogue Legacy? I want to play Rogue Legacy now. Yeah,
that game is Rogue Legacy has some charming aspect to it. The fact that when you get to a new hero, they have different their
traits,
different classes and different traits. Some can just have irritable bowel syndrome where they just randomly fart. Some just actually are kind of colorblind, so it's all gray and black. It's some things don't affect you at all. Some things actually do. So
I think my favorite one would be the one that's afraid of chickens. So you would destroy a barrel and then a chicken runs out, and it can actually damage your HP. But if you kill it, you get a health potion if you kill it. So I always like that one.
It's such a charming game. The one that I could never play with is, I think there was the one where it's completely upside down. I was like, what is this? This seems impossible.
As soon as I have no options between the three, I just die straight away. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I just sacrifice a hero.
There's no point.
The fact is that they don't invert the controls either. So even if you turn your screen upside down, and I totally did not try that, the controller is still going the right way, so you still can't play it properly.
Oh, that is annoying. So,
it is.
I have a question. I don't know if the conversation has drifted away from from developing games, but right now, what I know we sort of got into it, but what is what game out of all this year or the past, let's say since the last like holiday season to now, what game has piqued your interest the most? I guess.
So since Christmas, do you mean?
Yeah, but around there, Thanksgiving area, Halloween.
Let me think. The game that definitely picked up my interest, but not because I have played it, would be Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, Doctor.
So I haven't had the chance to play it yet.
You should 100% take a chance and play it.
I'll tell you what, there's actually something really interesting about it. So approximately 2 years ago, because of our university being located in Cambridge, there's also a certain studio located in Cambridge, which is called
Cambridge?
Gorilla Cambridge. That's right. So we got invited there to do something that we weren't allowed to even talk about for a year.
Oh shit!
We did the testing for VR rigs.
Really? That's awesome.
So they took us, and the best thing is that they paid us for it. I kid you not, they paid us to play a game a year before everyone else for an hour on a VR for the first time ever, and they paid us for it.
You're like, this is life.
I was literally like, yeah, this is the dream. This is the dream. I am literally, I would come back home and Google the game, and they'll be like, Eurogamer saying, we had a first look at the rigs. Unfortunately, we weren't able to play it. We just had the trailer. And I'm thinking, I just came back home and I played it for an hour. But during my visit there, so the Gorilla Cambridge was responsible for facial animations of the characters.
Okay.
So during my visit there, we noticed a lot of like sketches.
Wow.
And obviously, Horizon wasn't even announced. And I didn't know what it was. I thought it was some from other game they made years ago because I never really cared for Killzone or anything like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was from some other games they made. But as time went on and I saw the E3 gameplay, I was like, I know that face. I know that face. And I realized. And I had paid my interest very closely to it since it was announced. And I think it's going to be the next trilogy to look at. I think I haven't played it yet. I watched the entire what's it called? Let's Play for it. And
wow.
I had dedication. And then my friend played it, so we could talk about it. And I think it has a very big potential to become 100%. something like the next Uncharted for PlayStation. I really think it's possible.
I'm really excited to see what they build on. From what they first made, because it's I think a fantastic game to begin with. There's obviously some flaws to the game in itself. Some of the animations and some of the I feel like the quest lines were a little empty-ish, but I feel like it's definitely a great foundation for them to go forward, which I'm pumped about.
Definitely. So, like you said, the quest lines came. I mean, my favorite game of all time, and I'm going to be very totally not because I'm Polish. It's going to be The Witcher 3. It is actually, I believe this is the best game ever made. I spent over 300 hours on it.
This is ironic.
And the quest lines on this one, I don't think any game so far came anywhere close to it.
So, see, here's the thing. Me and Gary have the same opinion on this viewpoint when it comes to The Witcher 3. We understand, like, we can see from the outset that The Witcher 3 is a beautiful game. Like, the storyline is great, but we just had the one issue is just we could not, for the life of us, just get into the game itself. And I'm not sure what it was about the game. I'm not sure why exactly. I don't know if it was too expansive for us because it was my OCD overload. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but for some reason, Witcher 3 never quite hit that stride where I could put in, like you said, it's like 300 hours into it for some reason. I'm pretty upset about it. Just...
I think with The Witcher, I heard a lot of people actually saying that they just can't get into it. I think it's the same thing as with me and Shovel Knight. Like, I respect the game and I understand it's a masterpiece of its own kind.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I just can't click into it. I think the same solution to your problem will be the same as with my Shovel Knight. It's to play more. I think there's gonna be a point where I click. And I'm going to absolutely love Shovel Knight, and I'll be like, why did I not play this earlier?
But then,
and I think it'll be the same case with Witcher.
What happens if I play through it and just never clicks, and I get to the end, and I'm like, well, that seems like a waste of time.
Well, I think even if you don't fully love it, I still think I don't think you'll think it's a waste of time. I mean, it won so many Game of the Year awards. I mean, it's not a bad game at all.
What?
I don't think you lose time. Yeah, I don't think you lose time over it.
Yeah, I know that it's a great game. I can see from the outside looking in. Well, I've played it. I can see why everyone loves it. It's just for some reason, like you're saying, like with Shovel Knight for you, it just never clicked with me or Gary for some reason.
But I will try this week, for you.
Oh, thanks. I'll try The Witcher whenever it downloads, which could be 2 weeks from now.
I put it on download earlier because I've only just got my PS4 back, and I put it on download, and it's going to take approximately 20 hours. So.
They've put so many patches on that game to update it, if I'm correct.
Yes, they did, and also the DLCs are massive, but I will say it, I think they are the best DLCs ever made. I mean, it adds on, every DLC of those add at least 20 hours, and they could easily be standalone games.
I know somebody else that listens to the podcast, Allison, she screams her head off when we talk about The Witcher because we just don't quite get or don't quite click with it.
Maybe it's an American thing.
Wow. Oh, you're going there.
I went there.
Fish and chips. I go to a university.
Yeah. I mean, with The Witcher, you just got to keep trying it. You just got to keep trying it. If you don't like it at the end of the day, that's fine. But unless you play like, I don't know, let's say 20 hours of it.
I don't know how much I've put into it. I think it was a good chunk, but who knows. So, we're back to what we were talking about before with your, you wanted to create a, small indie, I guess you could say, development team for mobile games. Simple question here, maybe a simple question to roll us out of this discussion is, do you have any idea what your studio name is going to be?
Yes, we actually have a name.
Oh,
we actually do have a name. Yeah, it's all ahead, don't worry. We even have a Facebook page with entire 9 likes on it.
Nice.
We're trying to stay low profile so we actually have something to announce and show.
That's fair.
So we don't want to build that hype and then release very little. So our name is Staircase Smoke.
Staircase Smoke.
Yeah, so it came off
sounds
because
like a rock and roll band name.
No, actually, we used to live together, and we used to live together in a flat in Cambridge, and we had a nice staircase outside, and quite often we would just come out and sit for a cigarette.
Nice. All
that is literally
intertwined.
Yeah, so that kind of where the idea was born as well. That's the first time we started talking about it, so we just called it Staircase Smoke.
Hey, whatever works. Who knows? Maybe Staircase Smoke will be the next great indie developer.
Well, fingers crossed. Give us 10 years.
I believe you. I believe in you.
Thank you.
So, actually, this sort of popped in my head. Since you're developing for the mobile market itself, do you have any plans on how to get, more eyes onto your game? Just because the swath of games that are out there right now for the iTunes store and Android store, they just put basically anything and everything on there.
Yeah, so we asked ourselves that question before. So we said, what if we make the best mobile game ever, but no one will know about it?
Yeah.
That's what we ask ourselves. So we asked each other, how do we find the games we play?
Yeah.
And we came to 2 main categories. One is through friends. So someone else will play a game and they will challenge us to play that game. Mm-hmm. From that we learned we need to make our game competitive. So something that you can, like Flappy Bird had the high score. Yeah. Everyone wanted to get the high score. So we definitely put a big chunk of our concentration on that. And the second way, so the way I pick my mobile games, I cannot be bothered to go through hundreds of games, like you said, that come out every day and week. I will check the charts every now and then just to see what is happening on the market right now. But 90% of the games I downloaded are because of YouTube videos.
Okay.
So I will watch. So there's a few channels that will do top 10 free mobile games of April 2017.
Gotta get on those.
I will watch those. And I will watch those videos, and that's the ones I will download. So I think the best way to get some sort of exposure would be actually to speak up to those YouTubers, to those people who can actually affect more people through it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no point.
Influencer.
Yeah, there's no point us recording a YouTube video about our game if no one knows about us.
Fair enough. Well,
I think that's the key for us.
Well, when you develop this game, let us know. We'll make sure to mention it. I don't know how many people will be listening at the time. Maybe 300, maybe 400, maybe 1,000 will be live and check it out.
After this episode, 1,000, yeah.
I love the confidence.
I will give you in for a little secret, though. You can be the first person to know the name of the upcoming game.
Oh, wow.
Would you like that? Would you like that?
Sure. Of course.
The game is going to be called Train Chase.
Train Chase. That sounds like a perfect mobile game title.
Yep. That's all I can say right now.
Oh, you're such a tease.
It's not. Yeah, no, but it kind of. You see, you're already interested. Even if it's the worst game ever, you're still gonna download it now just to see what it was all about.
Of course, I'm gonna support my friends and fans. Obviously.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Adam. It was an interesting discussion that sort of went a different way than I expected, but that's how things roll.
I think it went everywhere, especially during the Stardew Valley thing.
I think we touched a good amount into game developing. Before we sign off, I do have one more question, trying to wrap it all into one. Do you have any suggestions for people that are looking into going to universities or colleges in game design? Do you have any tips or hints, or not hints, but just advice?
Yeah. So I would say when I was young, my parents would tell me, "Don't play so many video games. You're not gonna get a job for that." I will tell you one thing: prove them wrong. That is all.
Oh, wow, very simple. I like the answer. So, thank you again, Adam, for being here. Do you want to plug?
My pleasure.
Do you want to plug anything before we go? I know you have a studio to run right now. So, do you want to plug anything besides that?
If you could follow us on Facebook or Twitter. I mean, there's not much there yet, but there will be content appearing, a little sneak previews of things coming up. It is at Staircase Smoke. That's on Twitter. Or just find our page on Facebook, which is also Staircase Smoke.
I'll make sure to put a link in the description for your Twitter handle, and if I can find your Facebook page, I'll do that too.
That'd be great. Thank you very much.
All right, so thank you so much for being here, Adam. Let me try Adam Couch.
Oh, so close.
Mackowiak. Damn it!
There you go.
God, it's the Pac-Man thing is still in my head. Waka waka. Thank you again. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. So thank you for being here, Adam.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm gonna take us out. Remember, guys, if you stayed here, we really appreciate you so much. Please hit that subscribe button and also rate the podcast. It would really help us out so much. So that's about it. You can follow us on Twitter at 2JerseyKids. So have a great one. Keep playing those games. Bye.